Welcome to the instructional video for this 2014 Chausson Welcome 99. Based on the Fiat engine, it's on a 130 brake horse, and directly behind the driver's side we have your gas point. This will take one bottle, and you have your regulator just up there. You'll need to pigtail to connect to whatever gas bottle you're putting onto there. Generally 6 or an 11 maximum kilo bottle is what you can get into that gas locker, and that just simply locks with the one key, which works all the external lockers on this particular model. And it's the round key, goes in, push 2, and then just locks in place like so. Behind that we have your habitation door. So it just looks in there. You've got a window and a sliding window, which I'll show you inside, and a door retainer just on the top. So that's in place. On the door itself we've got a blind, and we have also got a locking point just here for locking it and opening it. When it comes to it, you've also got a fly screen that pulls down from the top just in that area there. Got an awning light just above there, and your fridge vents just behind. Behind that as well we have the toilet cassette. Standard Thetford toilet cassette. If the handle slides out, remove the little grey cap to get to the toilet, and then press the little orange button when you're emptying it to stop any splashbacks coming out from the toilet area. Slide it back in, and it should slide in dead simply like that. If it's not, then the blade valve is in the incorrect position. So it does have a handle that lifts out, and it does have wheels for moving it to and from. Behind that we've got the door retainer just there for the garage doors. Just make sure that they just lock in place just like that. And in here we have the original light that came supplied from Chausson, your tying down straps, tyre inflation kit, your carpets for both the cab and the habitation area, black one being the cab, the others being the habitation, a vent for heating, and then here we have fitted a additional leisure battery, so there is now 2 leisure batteries on here, and that lives just underneath this section here. So if you do need to get access, just lift that panel, otherwise you've got a good storage area just there, as well as a large height garage just there. The doors themselves, to close them, just twist, and again at the bottom, and then use the key to lock it in place. Again, the circular one, just quarter of a turn, and just lock in place like that. So when they're pushed in, they're fully locked. When they're out, they can be driven, but they are open, just so you're aware. Behind we've got the Fiamma 4-bike rack, so we've got the 4 individual arms for that. All the straps and connections just for there. Onto this side we've got a shelved area just here, so again good storage, and again access on this side. We've got the same door retaining clip just there, which holds it in place so you can see. And then again when we come to lock it, we simply just twist it down and then push them buttons in. We've got a little sticker just down here that lets us know where the wastewater is, and that can be found just underneath by pulling the handle to empty the waste and pushing it in for the waste tank to fill itself up. So that one there is your waste. Forward of that we've got the mains point and the water filler for your freshwater tank. So freshwater tank's just there, just use the key again to gain access and fill it up with a hose pipe. The sticker just on this side then tells us where we have the drain point for the freshwater tank, and that can be found just underneath here. You'll see that there is a little pipe hanging down with a little red peg, and the peg is the bung for draining the tank. When you want to drain it completely, just pull that down, and that will release from the actual tube itself. To fill it up, just press that in, and that will hold the water in place. So that is the bung for the fresh water. So fresh water at the front, wastewater towards the rear. Behind the passenger door you've got the diesel filler point, and then inside the door itself, under here we've got the toolkit, move that out of the way, engine battery location, the glove box. You've got another glove box just above here, and this one is a cooled area with the navigation card. If you want to update it, you'll need to remove that card and update it just there. And the bonnet release catch, which is just there. The windows have been fitted with the Remis cab lines, and they're on the side and again on the front windows. The front windows go round and they will concertina around the actual window mirror at the front. The side ones nice and easily slip in place there. Underneath the bonnet, and that can be accessed directly just above the Fiat badge, you'll find then the positive point. The negative point is just there at the front. Your oil, dipstick, screen wash, just in them varying points there. On closing it, just firmly let it release down, and then that will close. The mirrors themselves will manually fold in, but then electrically operate with the switches inside. So that's the outside done. Let's move on inside. So inside the vehicle, you'll find that the main control panel can just be found above the door here. To turn it on and off, you'll want to be touching the main power button just on and off there. So running through the options from left to right, we've got the power that is in the leisure battery. We've got water, if any, that is in the water tank. So that's the freshwater tank. You've got an indicator that will tell you when the wastewater is full, but not a gauge. The lights for the vehicle, the awning light for the vehicle, and then your water pump. So the water will pump once water is in the system, will turn off and on, depending on the pressure, once you bleed it through the system. And that's how you do it just here on the system. We've also got an indicator to tell us that we're plugged into mains. Now the one thing you've got to remember on here for the internal workings like the bed and things to work, you've got to have this power on. Now you don't need to have the light switches on, so you could turn them off individually, but you've got to have this button pressed and this button on for the things like the beds to work and things like that. So just bear that in mind. The light switches can be found in varying parts of the vehicle. These little ones turn on and off just where my thumb is there, so that will do that. Same just there on that one underneath. These front ones just have little switches that can just be found just behind there, and it's the same for that one there. You've got the large front fly screen and blind, and this is also an opening vent, which you do by winding the actual handle down there, and then again it closes through just like that. The table slides around, forward and backwards, side to side. It does have underneath these little locking points, so you can lock it in place and stop it from moving. And you also have the key, which can be found under here, to operate the table going up and down, whichever way you want it. To make up the bed underneath, you'll need to drop the table all the way down. I always find it easier moving the cushions to do this, and I'll come back to that later in the video of how to do that and show you how that makes up. But basically you have a single underneath should you want it. On the electrical side of the items, they can be found underneath this seat here. So if we remove the cushions and lift it up, you'll see that your main charger, which is the black one, your main fuse panel and the main RCD box can all be found nice and neatly together. You have got some storage just down here, and if you lift up, you will find here you have got your TV bracket, comes up on a gas strut and then will come along and slide depending where you want it. At the bottom you've got a mains, a 12 volt and an aerial socket located just down there. To pop it down you'll just need a little bit of force, and then away you go. That then will close that area off. So electrics underneath that side seat. We've got blinds and fly screens also on all the windows, and they work in exactly the same way. So pinch it together, that will lock in place. Pinch that one, that will separate the two, and back down to the bottom. Nice and easy. Well, we'll come to drop the bed later. We'll need to fold that seat over, and that will allow the seat to come all the way down. Same on the other side. We've got storage, and these can be opened, so by pressing the little handle here, that then moves the little fitting underneath, and it locks in place nice and easily. On this side, we've got the two opening cupboards, again a light underneath, and the fly screens and blinds on there. The travelling seat belts are located just here, and what you will have to do for the passengers, you will have to move this seat and this seat and this one here, and that basically then opens up that area to just slide in and releases that area for the foot room. Now again, when you come to make up the bed, you'll need to just slide that back out, and then that's how you formulate the bed down. So quite a decent sized bed, and you formulate it by using the bases or the backs of those. Make sure that it sits onto the little plinths. You've got a separate one, and that is one of the other ones. So you'll see that you've got little plinths here for it to sit onto. So just make sure it all lines up. So further back of that, when we come to drop the bed down, we'll want to have the keys in place. We do need to make sure that underneath here we unbelt the buckle. So if that's not unhitched from the little buckle switch, it will not work. Then simply we want to press the button, which will bring the bed down. Just like so. And you're bringing it down just there to the height where your ladders will be able to fit onto, and then just twist these, which will stop the bed ladders from falling off, and that is your bed made up just there. You've got your own little light switch, your own little safety nets that hook onto the little eyelets on the roof, on the front and the back side. On the front side, obviously, you've got a little shelf here which you can utilise putting your belongings onto, and we have a curtain that screens across to give you some privacy in the evening. So I'm putting it back up, then you'll need to make sure that the clip is just clipped in, and that's like a safety feature. And again, if you remove the key, that will also stop the bed from working. So it's the buckle, the key, and this switch just on here for that to work. Into the kitchen area, we've got your drainer just there, hot and cold mixer tap just on that side. We've got the 3-burner hob just on here. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And we've got your little drain area just there. Above that, we've got a storage area with your rack, and you can see that there is a full Chausson pack there with all your details and manuals inside. We've got a fly screen and blind on the window above the kitchen, and it's also a winding opening one, just has a little handle there. Let the air come in and out should you wish. Below the worktop, we've got several drawer areas. Again, they're on a soft close sort of option, so just let them fall naturally in, and then before you're moving, just make sure that you press the buttons in. So plenty of storage in the kitchen area all around. And then lastly, we come to the heater display. So you'll see that there is an on-off button just on here. Let's get it so we've not got too much glare for you. There you go. So on here, we want to turn the unit on. So what we're going to do is press this button back here. This takes us to the main control panel. So we want to go through then your heating options. So use the up and down ones. So you've got your hot water controls. If you press into that, then you can select it either on diesel power, 1 kilowatt electric, because it works off diesel and electric, 2 kilowatt, or a mixture or combination of diesel and electric. So choose which one you want, and then that will select the option for you. Going back then, or when you've completed it, it will then allow you to set the temperature that you want to do, up and down to the desired temperature, and then you would just leave it, and that would regulate the temperature in the vehicle to whatever you've set it at. Once you want to go back out of it or stop it, it then basically gives you the option on here of starting and stopping, to do whichever desired sort of option you want to do. If you want to then go back out of it, you'll hit the menu button, go down to the hot water, and only use this option if there's water in the vehicle, but it's the same idea. So go into it, it'll give you 70 or 40 degrees, whichever one you're going to do. So back out of that, again, it's going to give you the option of going hot water and heating. Again, diesel, 1 kilowatt, 2 kilowatt. Option, diesel and electric, on 1 and 2 kilowatts. So back out of that again, into the menu, we're going to then go down the drop down menu. It gives us heating by timer, gives us a frost protection option. This blows basically around the tank depending on whether you're using diesel or 1 kilowatt, 2 kilowatt. So again, select the option when it starts getting colder. It'll stop the tank from freezing. We then go to the drain. So this is how you drain the boiler. Unlike a lot of other systems, you'll need to go into this option to drain the heater, and it'll simply guide you. Please press OK, and then that will start draining the system of any water that's in there. So menu back would stop that, and again we're then going to go down to your last option, which is your program at timer. The setting option is something, if you press into it, you don't have, so you don't need to worry about that. But then you've got a program timer, then you can go into the settings, set the time, the date, the language, your usual parameters, units, hour format, contrast setting. So a little bit different from what you're used to, but I think once you've got your head around the whole system, it will be quite easy at work. When you want to turn it off, it simply just turns off there, and this little light will stop illuminating. So that's the Webasto heater that works both the water and the heating and drains it. Remember the draining, guys. So to the opposite side, we've got your Dometic fridge. Turn the unit on, and it will then either manually select, so gas, mains, or 12 volt. Remember the 12 volt only works when the engine's running. Or you can automatically select it, and you'll see there that it has switched back over to electric as we're plugged in to operate that. We've got a little blower that blows air around the freezer to stop that from sticking. Your temperature setting, so from warmest to coldest, and then your gas safety one. So if your gas locks out because it's trying to light up and you haven't got your gas turned on, you'll need to press this button, and that will reset the gas system for you. We've also got the travel catchers, so if you push them in, it will slide out. It'll allow the door to close, but we'll leave it open to breathe it. And then when you're not using it, you push it back in. So out or in, and then that will close it and stop beeping. If you forgot to do this and you've got the unit turned on, then it will start beeping to tell you. Just remember to slide them little clips back in. And when you come to finishing using the vehicle or the fridge, just press and hold it and it will turn off. Lights up, dead bright, so you'll know whether you've got it turned on or off. And not forgetting that underneath here is where all your gas isolation valves are. So in the position that they're currently in, they're in the usable position. So don't change these unless you're notified to do so by an expert or ourselves on that side of it. Above the fridge and freezer, we have your tech tower option. So this is both a grill, as it clearly states there, and an oven. Grill to the right, it's just on or off. The oven to the left, press it in for the igniter, and then it will allow you to change the actual flame strength by turning it up or down. Directly to the top will turn all the gas off to that unit. So that's the front area done. Let's move on into the bathroom area. So in the shower area itself, you've got your sink plugs there. We've got your magnetised, and on that side, if I get in, it is quite a strong magnet just behind the door, so don't be frightened of it. But you'll need to just pull that out first, slide that back round, and then we've got our nice shower cubicle area. Just down there, we've got the shower head, we've got the mixer tap, and we've got an opening ventilation just there. Again, when you're putting it back, just fold it nice and neat. You've also got a hanging rail for wet coats, towels, anything like that. And we've got the duct board just under there to stand on to give a bit of support in that area. Behind that, we've got your large storage area with a light on there, and we've got the infill section for between the beds should you want to do that for extra storage. That's what that is. If you're wondering what that is, that's where that can be found. Underneath here is just access to the floor panel if you're wondering. Just be careful about putting things in there if they're heavy, because you've got some pipes. And then we've got the tambour door, which basically just closes off your area there. Underneath the steps, we've got storage under both of them areas. So again, utilising as much storage area as we can. And then we've got access in here to the toilet area. So that divides it off from the toilet area there. And then we've got a separate, these magnets are really strong, just there to screen off the door area from the bedroom area. So in here we've got your toilet, and again remembering that the blade valve is in the correct position to utilise your toilet. So in the position that it is at the moment, which is towards the front of the vehicle, the blade valve was closed, to the back is open. So make sure it is closed before you're trying to open your toilet set and it's full. We've got your flush button and your indicator to tell you that it is full or getting full. And then we've got your storage compartment underneath here and a light switch for turning off the lights, which can just be found just to the right hand side. Again, the window has a flat screen and blind on it. We've got toothbrush holder, soap holder, towel holders, and another rail there. Got a sliding compartment above for the belongings, and then again another slider just there with a few little straps to secure things in place should you wish. Towards the rear, we've got a couple of light switches, mains point and an aerial point just up there. Your aerial, look in there and you'll see there's a booster box just there, which to turn it on and off, there's a little switch just on the top there. You need to make sure that that is in either green or amber for you to get a signal. And then we've got the beds either side. So windows that open, these ones have little press buttons, so just press the middle of them to open. And then we've got little lights on either side and storage compartments. In the middle, by just this section, will slide in and out depending on where you want it to be. And if you want to make it into a large bed, then you can put the two infill cushions in the middle to make up that large infill section, or simply have it as the two single options as you see just now. We've got another storage area here, and again one in the middle. So light switches underneath here for the bed areas and the lights, and little pockets for your storage on both sides. In this area we've got the turbo vent, again clearly telling you to open the vent, and then you've got a direction whether you want the heating coming in or out. We've got a sensor in here for the alarm, because it comes with an alarm. This is the auto watch alarm, and that is your internal PIR. You've also got garage sensors fitted to them on the particular vehicle, and the actual ultrasonics at the front either side just one here and one here. On the cab seats, we've got the height adjusters. On the outside of the seats, the recliners and the armrests. To move the seat forward, and it will only lock in place, you have a bar that lifts up and down that allows the seats to swivel round. Same on this side, and on this side just make sure that you clear your handbrake and the seat belt before you're spinning them around. On the cab side itself, you've got the cruise control, your lights and indicators, your trip counter and your wipers, the motor and switch for the electric mirrors and your electric windows. And we also have your air conditioning, your lock, hazard and fog lights. It's a manual 6-speed gearbox, and we've got the coin holder and the charging points just there. The vehicle has an integrated multimedia system, and once the vehicle is turned on, that will come in. You've got a menu option, CDs, Bluetooth audio, radio, auxiliary points, so the standard sort of options that you find with the multimedia. This is a Pioneer, and there is a manual for that with the pack. Once you turn off the engine, the power to this just goes off as well. We've got the lights, welcoming lights just there, and your sun visors. And that, guys, completes the instructional video for the Welcome 99. I think you'll agree it's a cracking layout. We hope you enjoy it. We hope it brings you many great journeys and adventures. We look forward to seeing you. Thank you.